Friday, everybody. In the midst of whatever bad news there is domestically or internationally, and there's plenty of that, there are truly bright lights. And I am honored to be in the presence of a man who is a bright light and represents it literally a couple of times a year, maybe 3 times, so it's not literally, maybe 3 times a year. We take a segment per hour, one day of the season, to bring to your attention a hand-picked charitable organization. In this case, it was so easy to pick it that it was self-evident. You may recall my trip with my son to Zimbabwe and Zambia, and I broadcast from Zambia, one of the few, I must say, national talk shows to have broadcast live from Zambia. And it was because we brought mosquito nets and corn seed, to the poorest of the poor. You don't know poverty. I have been to 98 countries. This was poverty the likes of which I had not seen, not in India, not in almost any other place in the world. Who brought me there? Rock of Africa. It is a remarkable organization of kind, good, loving people, the very, very best that we have in this country. The head of it is Glen, Megill, who is, well, I won't embarrass you. When you walk out of the room, I'll tell everybody what I think about you. Glen Megill and Rock of Africa, and let me tell you, folks, when you see what a mosquito net and you see what some seed does to the faces of people who don't have this, when you know that tens of millions of Africans have died of malaria, not to mention those who just literally starve, we don't have that in the United States. Thank God, we don't. We don't know what it is like. Glen Megill, welcome to the Dennis Prager Show.
Thank you, Dennis. It's a privilege to be with you.
Well, tell us about your organization in a nutshell. I can, but you can do better.
Well, we are an organization of volunteers that have a heart and a passion for the struggling people of Africa. And we have the enormous privilege to play a role there in providing resources to people with virtually nothing. It's an interesting thing, Dennis. We go over here, and when we first started working over there 10 years ago, we had the feeling like we had everything. We had all the answers, we had all the resources, and we were going to teach and to provide for everyone. But Dennis, you know what I've learned by being there and standing beside these people? We indeed have the resources, no doubt, but there are very significant people there, and I am so honored and privileged to stand beside some of the African people, and we have a great staff of wonderful people over there. It has been an awesome privilege for us Americans to be there.
Well, I'm sure that is true. I agree, and I felt privileged to help you on, in such a minimal way. And Shmuley Boteach, the famous rabbi, was with us as well. By the way, there's no reason not to mention you're a Christian-based organization. We are. But there were 3 Jews going along with you, because what you do is so beautiful. And it is pretty much, it is close to unique. Obviously, there are other organizations, but I mean, it's close to unique what America's Christians have done. And I say to all of you, whether you're atheist, Jewish, whatever your background that is not Christian, these people give Christianity a great name, but they give America a great name. They give the West a great name. They give Judeo-Christian values a great name. This is the strength that we have built a society on. When I watch, your people get almost nothing. I mean, I remember you. I have to say this on his behalf. This guy goes back and forth to Zimbabwe. It's an unbelievably long trip. It's 30 hours of just sitting on planes, and does it in coach. He has every right to go business class. You really do. I told you do.
I know.
I kept telling you, but Glenn, I want you to live long. You got to do this, and he wouldn't.
No.
And it is just so typical of what happens. Now, look, in the time we have, let's make something clear. What do people, when they give, what are you giving to these Africans?
Well, right now we're entering the spring season is just ahead in the southern hemisphere, and it is urgent that we get seed and get it planted in time. We're in an area here where starvation is a very real problem. People are literally starving to death in every direction in this area. And if we can get people to plant a crop, they can provide for themselves. Otherwise, they're totally dependent on handouts and relief supplies, which are very sparse. It's a very difficult situation. And the dignity we give by allowing people and helping people to provide for themselves, it's a very important time. Now, what also comes with the planting season is the seasonal rains. And as the rains come, it awakens the deadly malaria mosquito. And malaria becomes a very big problem, a very big killer ahead. So it's urgent that we get there now and be able to distribute seed and mosquito nets to prepare for this very important season ahead.
Now, is there a number to call?
Yes, there is. 1-800-347-1323.
800-347-1323. It's up at DennisPrager.com. Listen, folks, you want to feel better when there is glub news, give to Rock of Africa. I'm not kidding. A good deed is so transformative for us. I can't think of a better place to give. Now, listen, let's give $90 gives 3 families what?
3 families. It's a survival kit, actually. It provides mosquito nets and seed for a family to survive for a season. Again, planting this corn will allow them to provide for a family for a season. How can you spend that little amount of money?
So $30 takes care of a family. And by the way, it really does. I saw it. Mm-hmm. This is not the abstract for me, folks. 800-347-1323. 800-347-1323. Rock of Africa. You have your own website.
We do.
That too is up at DennisPrager.com. It's rockofafrica.org. rockofafrica.org. We're going to be talking a segment in each of the hours. I am honored to have you on.
Thank you, Dennis.
No, and my listeners know I mean that. I was overwhelmed by what I saw in Zimbabwe and in Zambia and what you folks do. Remember, $30 takes care of a family. Take care of 3 families. Take care of 10 families if you can. I do believe that it's not going to really hurt in the long run. 1/1000th the amount. It will help in the long run. 800-347-1323. Rock of Africa. I'm Dennis Prager. We continue.